So thank you so much for joining us today. You know, Mother Nature gave us a break. We've actually, this is, I think, the fourth ferry event we've tried to host, the fourth groundbreaking, whether it's our new ferry, which just pulled up, or groundbreaking we've had to call off because of storms. Well, let me tell you something. The only storm happening is a storm of progress, a storm of investment in infrastructure, and a storm of public service. That's what this city is about, and that certainly is what the RTA is about. So this ferry station that we're going to build is really part of a larger investment totaling about $43 million from a number of different sources, from money from the city of New Orleans, money from the Federal Transit Administration, money from the state of Louisiana, and a great partnership with DOTD, which actually oversees transportation in the state of Louisiana. And so we are really pushing ferry operations in a new direction and bringing accountability. We are fortunate to be able to have groundbreak on this new terminal, which is going to be in construction for about 2 years. We have new ferry vessels which have been introduced into service, and we're making sure we have that redundant, reliable service that we've all come to enjoy over the years that we've used the New Orleans ferry system. So there are a number of acknowledgments that have to be made for staff. In a bit, I'm going to introduce the chairman of our board, but I want to take a second to thank Mr. Raul Chauvin, who's a principal partner with Infinity Engineering. If you're here, thank you so much. Mr. Ken Flower with Woodward Design and the Woodward APC team. Mr. John Peter Laborde with the Laborde Marine Operations team. They've actually been a great partner and actually helping us to turn this project around. And staff as well. We've had, our infrastructure team is led by Ms. Lona Head, who I hope is here. All right, Lona is just fantastic. She actually helped us get this project right on sound footing, working very closely with Mr. Ramsey over at the City of New Orleans. Stephen Mitchell, who is on Lona's team. Mr. Raymond Vance and our grants management team. Terry Wright, Vivek Shaw and our planning team. Michael Smith, and of course our communications team, led by Angel. And so we just have really excited about this project and to deliver for the citizens of New Orleans. So I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I would like to introduce the chairman of the Regional Transit Authority Board of Commissioners, and that's Mr. Flozell Daniels.
Good afternoon, everybody. Are you guys excited? All right, so there are a couple of things we want to do today. This is such an exciting opportunity for us to recognize the talents and the vision for all the folks that have been involved. We're going to recognize a few dignitaries. I'm going to share a few words with you about what's going on with the Board of Directors and the RTA writ large. I'm so satisfied to be a part of a group of leaders who have decided that we're going to offer the best 21st century public transit. It's going to be safe, it's going to be equitable, and it is going to meet our riders where they are. We've been on an amazing journey of doing this work, of bringing the public sector to a next level of performance. We also know that to do this work, you need partnerships. You need amazing leaders and visionaries who help push this work. You're going to hear from some of those folks today. We've got, of course, our amazing Mayor, LaToya Cantrell. Would you give her a hand, please? You're going to hear from a Councilwoman, Kristen Palmer, who also chairs the Transportation Committee, and along with the Mayor's Office, has been just an amazing partner with us. And of course, Senator Troy Carter, who year in and year out is our partner at the state level, making sure that this leadership with regard to the ferry and the terminal and our service to all of New Orleanians is moving forward. Please give the Senator. And of course, Secretary Wilson with the Department of Transportation, who is our stalwart partner in all of this work and leading across the state and helping us make and keep regional connections. The Secretary is here with us today. And last but certainly not least, we have our Board of Commissioners. Would you all raise your hands and wave just so folks can recognize our board? We have Mark Raymond, Vice Chairman with us, Fred Neal, Laura Bryan, Commissioner Sharon Wegner. Others couldn't make it today. These folks represent the leadership. Thousands of hours of showing up for folks as it relates to public transit and moving this work forward, and they're a large part of why we're here with celebrating this Canal Street Ferry Terminal. So without any further ado, I am going to first introduce Secretary.
Families go way back with Senator Carter, where they lived 2 doors down on Elmira Street. Mom still lives in the house I grew up in. It's all in Kristen's district. And I can think back to the day that we made a decision as a city and as a state to take the tolls off of a bridge. And I'm not rehashing that issue. I do think, though, we didn't look at all of the circumstances of what would be lost when we took the tolls off that bridge. And I will tell you, when I knew that there was 1 million people that crossed this ferry, this river, to infrastructure works, because there's 2 beautiful twin span bridges there, the ferry here was not essential. And so the decision was made it wouldn't go. And there was one person in the Department of Transportation that told the secretary at that time, Sherry LaBaugh, this was not acceptable, and that was me. And she said, if you could figure something out that we can get through the administration and make happen, we would do that. And I started working the phones, calling RTA, calling everybody we could to say, can we give you something to help keep this up? Because I can't operate it anymore at the state level. We found a way to put together a partnership, and Flozell mentioned that that was essential, because without that partnership, we wouldn't have the service you have here today, because there were people in the city willing to make it happen. And so we've done some great things, Mayor, from the airport to streetcars and now to this. Last thing I will tell you is we were given an option to have old boats that operated far too long, and they operated freely, and you got what you paid for when you didn't pay. But just this Tuesday, election day, I rode that boat for the first time, and I welled up to look at the excitement on the eyes of the people that rode that ferry. And then I got off the boat with my wife, because it was a free ride, if you remember. We went to that side and came back, and we walked up here, and I looked at the Hammerhead terminal that was there, and I said, that is unacceptable, knowing that we're going to spend millions of dollars to make it what this city deserves. His terminal, he believes in what this is. And so to the senator, who has been a stalwart partner for me on all things infrastructure, thank you all for what you've done, and thank you all for helping keep up what we were not able to keep up at the state of Louisiana. And our commitment will always be here. As long as I'm Secretary and John Bell is Governor, you will have a place and access to this office and to the resources we have. So God bless you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so you can tell we're having a bit of an issue with the electricity. So you may want to move a little closer to make sure that you can hear. The electrical plan. One of the things that you all know, in addition to partners who are Michigan, we need partners who have reserve. As I asked the mayor, the point had come about one of the things that has been a hallmark of her leadership, thinking about public transit, the rights of the people, and the people. It's not only vision, but reserve to push forward to make the rights that the something more.
Thank you all so much for being here. This is an exciting afternoon, I have to say. Now, as the Secretary mentioned, with the work on the airport, today we celebrated the 1-year opening of our world-class airport that is now a gold standard in the nation for cleanliness as well as health in the midst of a pandemic, because we are certain that New Orleans will be the best place and the safest place to live as well as visit. We talk about it came in significantly over budget, and it was something that we know that we had to do better. And so with my Deputy CEO Ramsey Green, absolutely leading the charge, we made sure that we redesigned this terminal so that it came in budget, but at the same time focusing on the leadership of the Regional Transit Authority. So this wasn't just a one and done. This was a comprehensive undertaking as it relates to transit in our city, and knowing that partnerships matter and leadership matters as well. So, by executive order, I created the Mayor's Office of Transportation. Ms. Laura Bryan is our director of that. Thank you, Laura, who is also a board member. But we hit the ground with redesigning this, bringing it in again to budget. And we are here today to break were not paying for even a redesign because it was unfair. But it was also about what this city deserves. And we have what she deserves right here. Not only just a plan, but real, we're putting it to work and into real action. And I thank you all for that. RTA, listen, I know we have the leadership we need in Alex Wiggins. And it's no mistake, not only is he homegrown, he is from our city, but he came with the skill sets we need as it relates to transit management and even emergency management. And who knew we would have 7 districts? No serious declarations under our leadership as it relates to or related to hurricanes or storms coming our way. So I just had to look at that now. Because let me tell you, it's not about the things. We got it right. We got it right. And Flozell, thank you for your unwavering leadership as chairman of our committee. Got it right. And Councilwoman Kristen Palmer, thank you. Because, number one, I worked with you on the city council prior to becoming mayor, and I know your hard work and commitment to transit options and mobility and accessibility and equity as it relates to our people. You have always delivered, and I look forward to us continuing to work together. Senator, again, without any hesitation, always said, what do you need? What do you need to get to the mission at hand and to deliver for the citizens of New Orleans? And not just thinking in a silo about Algiers, but thinking about holistic, meeting all of our people where they are. And I just appreciate your partnership in the Senate, and you deliver every single time. Thank you for that. Show the love now. So, without further ado, and I'm going to call up that fierce leader that I just mentioned, Senator Troy Carter.
Now, what do you say after all that? Not much. Let me begin by thanking the leadership at RTA, Alex, Flozell, board members, our illustrious mayor, our outstanding secretary, Sean Wilson, our outstanding council member, Christian Palmer. As the mayor alluded and everybody else who came to the stage mentioned, it takes great partnership. And it takes great leadership at the top. And I know about that Come to Jesus Week that the mayor talked about, because it was so desperately needed. Because there were some folk that just didn't get it. They just didn't understand the significance of the East Bank and the West Bank tying together. They didn't understand the significance of the history that this property and this ferry brings to not just Algiers, not just New Orleans, but the entire region. Our mayor made it very clear. And they understood finally, kicking and screaming. But it was because of her tough leadership. It was because of her commitment to the entire city, recognizing the significance of Algiers, downtown, the surrounding parishes, and saying you will do the right thing. Give our mayor a big round of applause. See, nothing happens easy. Nothing happens without a lot of work behind the scenes. I'm so proud of my partner who I'll call up crisis. We talk about, well, maybe there's not enough ridership. Maybe there's not enough, wait a minute, it's not about ridership. It's about the historic fabric of our city. It's about making sure that we have a ferry that will encourage more ridership. And now I think we have it. And we have that because of the incredible leadership at the state, federal, and local level. Certainly the leadership with Councilmember Palmer fighting tooth and nail, the mayor fighting tooth and nail, and having a secretary and a governor that understood, and a team of people. And I'll end the same way I began. Teamwork. Teamwork is what gets it done, and a good quarterback always calls the plays. So again, thank you, Madam Mayor. You want to hurry up?
Let me tell you, you gotta love it when your elected officials are so efficient. They do they just keep the thing flowing. I love that. I want to just make a couple of quick comments. I want to pick up on what the secretary said about the senator. Often when we make phone calls at the state level, looking to get something done, by the time we make the call, we're told the senator has already called before us. ahead of the game, making sure we get what we need at the state level, which is critical to this ferry operations. You guys just have no clue what that fight has looked like. So I just want to appreciate the senator one more time. And I want to bring up Councilwoman Kristen Palmer, who, as the senator said, fights tooth and nail, calls me sometimes in the midnight hour to say, like, this is what the people need. How can we get the people what they need? She does this work day in and day out, like the mayor said. It's been a fantastic partner. And as we build out this new ferry terminal, as we think about something the senator works a lot on, economic opportunity and building jobs and what have you, the councilwoman has been a first-class partner in that. Please help us welcome Councilwoman Kristen Palmer.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Senator Carter. That was lovely, and Mayor Cantrell. You know, another adjective for you there, Mayor, is also not just a fighter, but to have courage to stop a project. Because sometimes people don't understand. I mean, nobody wants to stop progress, right? But sometimes you have to stop supposed progress in order to have true progress. And that's what this mayor did with this project. Because this project wasn't just over budget, it was also not equitable for the riders. It also did not have public participation, which we all know can at times be difficult to bring disparate groups together. But the mayor understood, and I think everybody here understands, that 20% of our population in the city of New Orleans does not have access to a vehicle for modes of transportation, right? We still have an incredibly high poverty rate in this city, where we have a disproportionate amount of money that goes to housing, and then number two is transportation. And when you look across this river, when you don't have a car and you have to work hospitality jobs, there's only one way to get across here in a more equitable time frame than sitting on a bridge in traffic, right? So if you're walking, if you're biking, if you're disabled, how do you get across this river when you can only afford to live someplace else and you can't live closer and closer to the city and to the urban core anymore due to housing costs? So that's the other part of this story that's incredibly important right now. And it was because our mayor understood that and stopped a project and pressed the pause and say, not only is it not in our value system in terms of how much this project costs, but it's not in our value system on who is being benefited from this project. And not to make sure we have people waiting behind a train who are then going to be late for work, because they also the number one reason people are let go in the city of New Orleans is because they're late for work. And a system of transportation, not as many options. And I just also want to thank everybody in this front row, because the mayor's also reformed, when we talk about the RTA board and having an office of transportation, to make this a thoughtful approach to transportation, the growth of our city, and the life and health of our people that live here. So I'm just thrilled to be standing here. It's not 100% what everybody wants, but nothing in life is. And I gotta say, this is a damn better job than we could have ever hoped for. And it's going to make this city, it's going to connect two banks, and it's going to allow people to get to work safely. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank Senator Carter. I want to thank Alex Wiggins, who has shown a tremendous amount of patience with me. And I thank you for that. You came on board at a very difficult time. And yeah, I do sometimes fight a little hard, but thank you. And you've just done beautifully with our ferries and our new ferries and our new management system. So again, I just want to thank everybody. I'm thrilled to be here to truly have an intermodal form of transportation for our people.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I told Alex I knew we were doing a pretty good job because I hadn't heard from the Councilwoman in months. And so you can always tell when things are going well. We're now getting to the exciting part. We're going to break ground. I'm going to reintroduce Alex Wiggins, but I want to reiterate something that has been said by a number of folks here. We were looking to create a 21st century transit agency. We decided at the board level that we would hire the best staff that we could find, that we would structure the organization in a way that would make it accountable to the people and the public. We would find a way to make the most with the resources we have. And as someone who grew up in the city using public transit to get to school, to get to work, and to get to play, I wanted everyone to have the same opportunity I had to get to opportunity. And that's what we're building. So much of the success we're having, especially in this moment as we renew this ferry terminal and we look forward to new links and all the wonderful things that are going to be coming into play in the next year, have been because we have a quarterback, I think someone said. Alex Wiggins has patiently and quietly been hiring the right staff, been moving the work that the board has mandated to move forward, has been a critical partner with other agencies who look at housing and other critical issues that are connected to transportation. I wanted to celebrate not only him, but his incredible team. I see you back there, Lorna, and too many people to name. They're the ones who get the work done every day. And I want to thank this board for being so amazing and progressive in staying in a policy position and really doing the amazing work to make sure that the staff have what they need to do that for us. So Alex, why don't you come up and get us going with the rest of this?
Really brief because we're about to take photo and get to work. So I say we get up and we grab some shovels here and get to work on this new terminal.
This is where it would help to be